It is time for a new overseer, and it could be you. Yes, you. The task is simple. Collect the things you need in the vault, like food, water, and even electricity. Use these resources to build more rooms and make your fellow vault dwellers happy. Or even venture outside and discover useful objects, or even animal companions. But be sure to dispatch any uninvited guests should they ever wander into your vault. The more happiness you gain, the more votes for you, our new overseer of this Fallout Shelter.
Fallout Shelter is a 2 to 4 player game for ages 14 and up with an average gameplay length of 60 to 90 minutes, published by Fantasy Flight Games. The basic overview of Fallout Shelter has you assigning vault dwellers to collect resources in order to expand the vault and increase happiness. Once a floor is completed with 6 new rooms, the player with the most happiness wins. Game setup begins by placing the 6 rooms, plus elevator, with the red backs, in order in the middle of the table. You can identify the order by the small number next to the worker placement location. Each player then chooses a color resource board along with matching elevator card and 2 dwellers of that same color. Place elevator card one after the other below the first floor elevator. Then shuffle item cards, threat cards, and room cards separately and place them above the vault. Draw 3 item cards and place them face up to the left of the item deck. And then draw 3 room cards and place them face up to the right of the rooms deck. Finally, place dice, resource tokens, and happiness tokens within reach of all players. The first player marker will go to the player who has most recently gone underground, and you are ready to start the game. The game plays over a series of rounds. A round begins by spawning threats, but that will be skipped on the first round, so we will come back to that later. Next, starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player will take turns placing a dweller on an empty location in the vault. When placing a dweller, you must first pay the cost in red above the location, if there is one, before collecting the rewards in green. A few examples of rewards and cost icons are resources that match your resource tracker. Each symbol represents a single resource of that type. If there is a question mark, then it is the player's choice to which resource they will gain or pay. Another icon to keep an eye out for is the smiling face. That awards you a single happiness that you will need to win. Another 2 important icons are the Vault Boy, that has you gain another dweller, and a gift icon that provides you with an item. You can also use the elevator on your floor in order to build a room by paying the required amount in the bottom right-hand corner of the room cards. Once all players have assigned their dwellers and completed their actions, you will recall all dwellers. If you placed any on an arrow icon with a letter in it, you will place that dweller on the top of your board above the matching letter. If you place that dweller on a space with the matching letter in the next round, you can double the reward received from that location. Now, when beginning the next round, let's circle back to spawning threats. When spawning threats, roll a pair of dice for each floor of the vault. Each number rolled represents a column of the vault. When rolling for each floor, if you roll a 7, no threat is spawned because they cannot be spawned in an elevator. Another reason not to spawn threats is if there is no room in the column rolled, or if there is already a threat in that location. When a threat is placed in a location, the spot is covered and no longer available until the threat is removed. In order to combat a threat, a player must assign a worker to the space, roll both dice, and if the number rolled is equal to or greater than what is shown on the threat card, you can remove it and collect the reward. Again, if you use a dweller with the matching special upgrade and defeat the threat, double your reward. If you fail to beat the threat, you must lay your dweller on its side and it has become injured. When recalling your dwellers, it remains on its side, and it can only be assigned to the injured dweller space. Once placed, the Stimpak reward allows you to stand that dweller back up again. When assigning a dweller to a room on another player's level, that player may gain one resource of their choice. However, if placed on a threat on another player's level, they do not gain that resource. Continue each round by spawning threats, assigning workers, and finally recalling them at the end of the round. The game ends once a player has built their 6th room on their floor, or the threat deck runs out. Once the game ends, each player will discard 1 happiness for each threat on their level, and the player with the most happiness wins. If tied, the winner will be determined by the player with the most resources. If still tied, the most dwellers. And finally, if still tied, the most items. This is a basic rundown of how to play Fallout Shelter. For reference of what all the icons mean, refer to the back of the rulebook. And if you have any questions, check the rulebook or comment below. And best of luck to you, future Overseer. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.